Today is our last day of Finance Committee hearings. I'm Council Member Frank Morano. I've really enjoyed being on the Finance Committee during these budget hearings and discussions. But today at the Finance Committee, we heard testimony that should concern every New Yorker, not because of politics, not because of personalities, but because of what it says about accountability in our public school system. For the past several weeks, there have been reports about contracts awarded by the Department of Education while Chancellor Kamar Samuels was serving as superintendent. You may remember him from the comic book. He's that one. Questions have been raised about procurement practices, oversight, and whether the rules that are supposed to protect taxpayers were properly followed. Today, one of the vendors at the center of that controversy, Sean Kraling, came before the city council. Now, I want to be very careful here. Everyone is entitled to due process. Investigations should follow facts, not headlines. And no one should be presumed guilty simply because their name appears in a newspaper story. But what struck me about today's testimony wasn't just what was said about one contract or one administrator. What struck me was the picture of a system that appears to be failing at multiple levels. According to Mr. Kraling, when questions arose about whether his company was an approved vendor, he says DOE personnel suggested alternative ways of structuring the building. He testified that administrators are often expected to navigate an extraordinarily complicated procurement system without adequate training. If that's true, then we have a problem that extends far beyond any single individual. Government shouldn't operate on loopholes. Government shouldn't operate on rules that are clear, transparent. Government should operate on rules that are clear, transparent, and consistently applied. But there was something even more troubling. A significant portion of today's testimony, and I questioned him on this, as did Councilmember Dinowitz, a significant portion of his testimony focused not on contracts, but on student safety. Mr. Kraling testified about an individual with serious prior allegations involving touching, involving racial comments, involving all sorts of stuff, who was ultimately placed in a classroom. He argued, Kraling did, that vendors did not have access to information that might have alerted them to concerns, while DOE's own screening processes appeared to have totally broken down. Think about that for a moment. These are taxpayer dollars. We're talking about government accountability. That's all important. But protecting children matters most of all. If there are weaknesses in the system that allow individuals with troubling histories to move from school to school, district to district, or sector to sector without appropriate scrutiny, then that's something every elected official should be concerned about, regardless of party. Mr. Kraling referred to it as passing the trash, which I thought is an apt description. Mr. Kraling also raised concerns about the Special Commissioner of Investigation. He alleged that relevant information was omitted from a report and called for greater transparency. Again, those allegations deserve to be carefully examined, but they raise an important question. Who watches the watchdogs? Because public trust depends on people believing that investigations are thorough, independent, and free from favoritism. The average New Yorker doesn't care about bureaucratic turf wars. They don't care about internal politics at DOE. They want to know three things. One, are my tax dollars being spent properly? Two, are my children safe? And three, are the rules being applied equally to everyone? Those are reasonable questions. They're common sense questions. And they're questions that deserves, I think, answers. As this matter continues to develop, I'll continue to push for transparency, accountability, and the basic principle that no one, whether they're a vendor, a teacher, a superintendent, or a chancellor, is above scrutiny. New Yorkers deserve nothing less. Please comment as you see fit. Share this video if you like. Thank you.